So we're here today. We've got Jodie Steele with us, who's currently on tour with Picture You Dead.
I am indeed.
Excited. So the first question I've got is obviously, can you tell us a little bit about the show and like your character?
Yes, I can. Hello, everybody. I'm just sat at my dressing table pre-show makeup, so enjoy. So the show, it is based on a Peter James book called Picture You Dead, and it's all about a painting that is part of a very famous collection, a real life collection. I've done my research. I was fascinated when I got the job, of the Four Seasons by Jean-Honoré Fragonard, who is a infamous French painter. This beautiful, ordinary, everyday couple that we can all, connect with and recognize ourselves in, pick it up at a car boot sale just for the frame. And then they discover that perhaps, I don't want to give too much away, that perhaps this painting is worth a lot more than they had anticipated, a lot more. And with that, lots of shifty characters, let's say, come out of the woodwork in search of this painting, and then many different things unfold. I really don't want to give too much away because I think it's so amazing to watch the plot unfold live in front of your eyes.
You want people to be working it out as it goes along, so
yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, when you asked me about my part, so I play a part called Roberta Kilgore, also known as Bobby. So in the cast, when we're character names, I'm definitely Bobby, which makes us all laugh because there's a bit that we do in the fight call, because I do a lot of physical work, which I love, and it's from over to you, Bobby. And so every time we do that, we're like, Bobby, baby, just a little musical theatre head on. So Roberta Kilgore / Bobby, who actually in the book is a male character, but rightly so, is a female character in the play and is a total badass, and it's an absolute dream to play. It's a credible part.
See it. Can't wait. My next question is, obviously, you are most famous in the theatre world for your musical theatre performances.
I am.
What gave you the drive to do a switch to like the plays, and because I know you've done it.
Yeah, great question. I love it when people ask me this stuff. My dream has always been. No, my dream has always been to sing, for sure. And I will always sing. And I will, it's definitely not goodbye to musical theatre. I will be back. People keep asking. But as I got older, God, I'm definitely not old yet. I wanted to act. I've always wanted to do action movies and play baddies in cop dramas. And for whatever reason, as someone who's quite a bubbly bit of a pushover, I love playing baddies and criminals and God knows whatever else. Something about it, I think it's because it's so far removed from myself, and so weirdly in this country, not so much in America actually, we kind of get boxed a little bit. It's a known thing, so it's not like shocking that I say it. If you do musicals, then you tend to be boxed. Oh, well, they sing, that means that they can't act. And acting is my first love. And so I kind of had to break the barriers, and it's taken a little while. It's taken a long time. I had to very, very cleverly navigate my way through and say yes to certain things and no to certain things, which has been really hard. And then, particularly this past year, I've seemed to finally broken the barrier and done a bunch of TV. And this is my second play. And honestly, I'm like still pinching myself with the cast that I'm working with. Peter James, who, by the way, my sister is like the biggest Peter James fan. I was at her house over the weekend and I just saw the whole array of his books. And she was like, can you get one signed for me? I was like, yes, of course I can. And the cast are just phenomenal. And this part, like, wow, yeah, this is like a bit of me. Not that I'm similar. Oh my gosh, no, I'm not similar to Roberta Kilgore in any way. But this is like the stuff that I just I can't actually find the words for how much I love playing these kind of characters. Like, it's a dream come true. So yeah, that was a really long-winded. I really can talk, by the way. I'm sorry.
I'm a yapper anyway, so that's fine.
But yeah, so that's why. I want to do it all, and I think, you know, I need to prove myself even further in this straight acting world. I have a lot of work to do. I'm still a baby in this world, which is exciting. But I will be back. I basically want to be Imelda Staunton. That's like the dream.
Yeah, totally fair with that.
So working on that.
Yeah, no, that is great. What is it like being on tour, like the pros and the cons of that? Because it's very different to like when you were doing Heathers and you were just in London.
I'm so sorry, did you just hear that? I didn't put my phone on silent. The pros and cons, there are many of each. So with the West End, it's funny actually, and I'm sure any actor would say this. It's on a pedestal, the West End. It's like it's the height of theatre, I think, across the world, actually, particularly with straight theatre, because of the National, the Donmar. We have these places that are really so worldwide renowned. And so it's prestigious, and it's very well respected, and you're kind of at your top of your game. And I'm no stranger to the West End. I've been so lucky to have been there many times, and hopefully many more to come. And it's amazing, and you can be at home. And as we all know, what I'm like, I like to dabble in many things all at once. And so I can do that with ease when I'm on the West End, you know. Writing, running other businesses, and God knows what else. Lots of voiceover work. It all seems to be based in London, so that makes that easy. However, on tour, you know, the opposite to that, being on tour, the difficulties come with the traveling, the packing, the different pillows. You never know what gigs you're going to get, but the joy of it, and the reason I do love touring and will always love touring, I love both. Is you get to take it to people who cannot get to London or who struggle to get to London. It's way more accessible. The prices are better. I think sometimes the tickets prices of tickets on the West End are extortionate, and I think it makes it, you know, for the privilege, and I disagree with that. I think theatre should be for everyone. And we get to change location, so it's a fresh venue every week, which actually, for someone like me who loves to be kept on her toes, that's a really exciting feeling. I love feeling a little on edge on stage. That makes it more raw for me, more believable, and more exciting, spontaneous.
What is your like favourite character that you've played so far, and like what is the reason for that?
Ooh. Do you know, honestly, like I have to say, I have oh God, I have 4. I'm going to have to mention 4. I did a workshop showing once, a really like snippy short contract where we workshopped it, and then we did a showing at the other palace. And it was called Zelda, and I played Zelda Fitzgerald. It's all about Scott Fitzgerald's wife. And Daisy Buchanan within Gatsby is based on Zelda. Anyway, I mean, her story is just so complicated and upsetting and enlightening and inspirational all at once, as being a female with a great mind that is banned from using it. And so I loved that part so much. I would love to revisit that at one point. I was hoping that it would get picked up, you know, how difficult these things are. So that's that one. Blanche in Bonnie and Clyde, I will forever be obsessed with her. That is just the perfect ingredient of comedy and tragedy all at once. And then a role that I recently have filmed, which is not out yet on Mallory Towers, called Lily Vernon, who is, I can't give too much away about that, actually. Massive NDA with the BBC, so I won't give too much away. But again, devious character, and loved her. And then this is like, if I could play this character in some realm on repeat, but just in different forms for the rest of my life, I'd be a very happy bunny.
And we love that you've got like so many different ones and different like formats of it as well. Like you've got your musical, you've got your theatre, you've got your filmed role, and that's really interesting.
Yeah, many things.
You've recently co-wrote your own musical, Jane. What is that about, and where did the idea come from?
Yeah, so Matt Knowlton is my writing partner, and we are now an official signed Brighton duo, which is so exciting. I approached him. We wrote together back during the original Heathers in 2018, and I did Myth with him at the Other Palace. Oh my gosh, my dog's come to say hello. Say hello, Buster. I wrote a song with him shortly after Myth because I just thought his orchestration, his arrangement, his musicality was so cinematic and just so epic. And I was like, wow, I want to write with you. So we wrote a couple of songs, and then in 2023, in winter, I had a mulled wine with him, and I said, I have an idea in my head. There are many things in my life that I want to write about, and I want to make a musical. And he just said yes. And then it went on from there. And since then, as with any new piece of theatre, it's adapted and changed, and it's grew into something more than I ever thought it would be. And it's very much about grief now, which I think you'd struggle to find any human past the age of 20 and below, but definitely who hasn't struggled with grief, right? In some means in their life. And it's very sad, and then it breaks your heart, and it puts it back together again, and then breaks it again and puts it back together, and then breaks it again and puts it back together right at the end of the show, and lets you leave the theatre feeling enlightened and lifted and softened by grief that you would have struggled with.
Okay. Definitely one to be interested in.
Hopefully.
What has been your favourite rehearsal moment for Picture You Dead?
We had it was the day I did all the fight stuff, I think, with Terry, who was the most infamous, incredible, athletic, definitely secretly 20, but actually, I think he's actually in his 70s, which blows my mind, who came in and worked with us and is our fight coordinator. I learned so much. I love that realm, and that artistry behind gun work and fighting, and I've done a lot of it myself. And so whenever I get to learn or develop that kind of skill set, I'm in heaven. And so that was my favorite day. I remember thinking, gosh, this is so much, so many details and trickery within my track. And now, we're 2 weeks in, I'm like, what was I worried about? I got it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite. And also just every day with Jonathan O'Boyle, he's a dream. I have wanted to work with Jonathan for so long. And when I got the job, I was like, and he just, succumbed what I thought. He's just incredible. The most diligent, caring, clever director with a massive heart, and somehow, that is that kind of director that makes you think about your choice without saying, I don't like that choice, but but then it addresses you in a way that you're like, perhaps that's not right, and then just finds this incredible happy medium of what you want to give and what his vision is. And he's amazing. He's amazing.
What did you do to prep for your role?
So I spoke to my sister a lot because she's a massive Peter James fan, and I wanted that essence. And actually, when I started rehearsals, I was way off with the essence, and Jonathan again cleverly molded me to be in the correct world. I watched the TV series Roy Gray, and I will read the book, but I didn't want to. I obviously read the script many a time, and I make all sorts of notes and scribble all over it. But I didn't want to read the book because I knew that it was a male character, and I didn't want to try and reflect a male character. I wanted to have my entire own take on her, and actually the piece. But I will read the book when we finish. But yeah, so I did a fair amount of prep. I love prep. Prep and research is one of my favorite things. And actually, I did a lot of research on all the old master painters, because that came up so much in the script, people I'd never heard of, and that's always fun to learn when you need to,
Yeah. Would you say there are any similarities and differences between yourself and your character, or would you say you look completely different? What kind of?
We're so different. Look at me. I think it's funny because, you know, I always play these glamorous, sassy, slightly evil characters. I love it and I embody it well. I never really compliment myself, but I know that I embody that well. I must do because I keep those characters. But me, I'm a total geek. Introverted extrovert, i.e. I pretend to be out there when really I love my own company. I'm a total lone wolf. I find social situations really overwhelming. I'm a real geek actually, and very caring, not overpowering, do not like attention on myself at all in the real world, but love it on stage when I'm not playing me. So I'd say that I couldn't be further from Roberta Kilgore if I tried. Although, saying that, she is a very independent lone wolf. And so actually that's a huge parallel between us.
Okay. And I have one last question just to finish us off. This one's just a fun one. It's just a bit of fun. If you were a flavour of ice cream, what flavour would you be and why?
Okay. I would be a dark chocolate marshmallow swirl with a mystery unknown, unnamed flavour sprinkle. Why? Because dark chocolate is, I think, in a way mischievous but serious. So you don't want to mess with dark chocolate, like you really like it. But you don't want to mess with it. It means business. It's not white or milk, you know, it's like dark. Take me for what I am. Yeah. With a marshmallow swirl because I'm just a love bunny really and very soft and, a bit of a walkover, you know, I'd do anything for anyone. But with that dark chocolate essence, you know, on the other hand, if like we get to business or work, I'm very serious about my craft and my career. And then with the unnamed flavor sprinkle, I think people perceive me to be one thing because of perhaps what I can come across as aesthetically, curly blonde, you know, and then when they get to know me, they see the unknown part of me, which is like super laid back lad, like nothing like the characters that I play. And just a love for my craft. And you wouldn't know that, I think, until you really get to know me, hence the unnamed flavour sprinkle.
Okay. Well, that was great. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you, Elle.